Hello everyone, so welcome to a new video. So in this we are going to solve Wiggle subsequence, a question of lead code which is medium level. So the difficulty level for this problem is medium. So in this we have to take the maximum possible subsequence in this array, and after that we want to take a subsequence such that if we subtract the elements, if we let's say we are subtracting this is giving this is giving us positive, and then if we subtract this is giving us negative. So we want to take a subsequence such that after we take the difference of elements, uh, it should look something like this, like alternate positives and alternate negative numbers. So we want something like this, and we want to take this maximum. So how we can do it? So if you see that we only care about positive and negative numbers and we do not care about zeros. Okay, so let's say two numbers are equal, then we will not take them as a part of our subsequence. So let's say like this 5 5. So 5 5 are equals, so then 5 5 will 5 5 won't be a part of our subsequence. Okay, we don't want numbers to be like if we subtract them, we don't want the answer to be 0, we want them either to be positive or to be negative. Okay, so the thing about getting the difference positive or getting the difference negative is that if one number is greater than another, so let's say we have a b, we have a sequence like this. Okay, this is a subsequence, so we are only talking about the subsequence now. Okay, so let's say our final subsequence is something like this, and this what is going to happen is this could be one of the case where a is greater than b, then b is like lesser than c, then c is greater than d. Okay, so what is going to happen is, let's say first we deduct a minus b, then this is going to give us positive value, then we deduct b minus c. uh, so first we have deducted a minus b, this is had given a positive value because a is greater than b. Then we deduct b minus c, this is going to give us negative. Then we deduct c minus d, this is going to give us positive. Okay, so if we look carefully, we only care about whether this number is greater than the next number or not. Okay, and after subtracting we will get many positive and many negative values. So we can get something like this, many positive and many negative values. So we want to take a subsequence such that we can take the maximum number of values. So let's say a subsequence could be something like this. So this is a valid subsequence, and this is, I guess, the longest subsequence in this like array of positives and negatives, positive and negative values. So this is the longest subsequence. So we just only want to find this. So we are going to talk about a simpler approach to solve this question. So the approach is that, let's say initially I have a total of positive as 1 and negative as 1. So this is nothing but this is the subsequence ending at a positive value. Subsequence ending at a positive value is of length 1, and a subsequence ending at a negative value is also of length 1. Okay, now when we encounter a positive value, the thing is also, one more thing is that this single value is been obtained from subtracting two numbers, and this negative is also obtained from negative subtracting two numbers, but a number could be common in between both of these values. So we can say that we have gotten this positive and negative from subtracting a total of three integers. So if our subsequence was only positive and negative, then our answer would have been 3. So what we have to do is we have to like find the longest possible subsequence. In this case, longest possible subsequence would be something like this. So it has a length of 2 plus 4 plus 2 6, but we are going to return 7 because we are talking about numbers, not their differences. Okay, at the end we are talking about numbers, that's why we are going to increase this number by 1 and we are going to return. All right, so that is why what we are doing is we are initializing this total number of sequence ending at a positive value and total number of sequence ending at negative value as 1 1. Okay, we are doing this. Now what we have to do is, let's say we are traversing this array. Okay, we are traversing this array. This is the array we have obtained from subtracting values. So let's say if we subtract this array, we can obtain uh, like if you subtract elements of this array, we can obtain array like this. Okay, so we will traverse this array, but we don't care about their values. We only care that whether they are positive or negative. So that's why I have written only the sign positive and negative. Okay, so we have encountered a positive number. So as soon as we encounter a positive number, we are going to look that previously if there is a sequence, there is a subsequence which is ending at a negative value. Okay, so this positive number can be a part of that sequence. So what we are going to do is, if we encounter a positive value, we are going to increment the value of our negative plus one by one. Okay, so what going to happen is this is going to get incremented by 1, so this will become 2. Okay, this will become 2. So then when we encounter a negative value, we are going to increment our positive subsequence by 1 as well. So this is now 2. So to like more formally talk about this, let's do one thing. We have a array. Okay, so what I have did is I have taken already an input. So this input is same as our example number 2. Okay, 1, 17, 5, 10, 13, 15. So this is our sample input 2. I have taken their differences. I have to do one more thing. I have taken the differences in the wrong direction. So it should be I plus 1 minus this. Alright. So their differences would be something like this. Okay, so these are their differences. So can paste that here directly. So these are the differences, and what we look that now that these are the differences of this array. Okay, these are the differences of this array. Look carefully at the question. We have been given that a sequence with one element and a sequence with two non-equal elements are trivially Wiggle sequences. That means that our minimum the length of the smallest possible length of a Wiggle sequence should be 1, right? Should be 1, and we can take that 1 as either a subsequence who is ending at a negative value or either a subsequence who is ending at a positive value. That's why initially we are taking a number, we are taking like this sequence's length as 1. Okay, so we are doing this. So what I'm saying is there are now so this is the length of the longest possible subsequence who is ending at a negative value. So these are the longest possible sequence ending at negative difference, and longest possible sequence ending at a positive difference. Okay, so now that we encounter a positive value. Okay, so if we encounter a positive value, to make it wiggle we want a negative value previously. So let's say there is like a longest possible subsequence who is ending at a negative value, and after this if we attach a positive value, then this will become our new longest possible sequence. Okay, this will become our new longest possible sequence. So what we can do is, more formally we can say that if we found a positive value, we are going to increase the length of our negative sequence, and we can do it by, it would be maximum of 1 comma, so this is the 1, and 1 plus 1. Okay, so sorry, we have found which is a positive value. So 1 like the previous maximum length of a subsequence, so this is 1 here, and what we'll do is 1 plus 1. Okay, 1 plus 1. So this one is saying that there is already a subsequence which is ending at a negative value, and this one is saying that we have found a new value who is positive. Okay, so this would be our answer for a subsequence ending at a positive difference. Okay, because this is positive. Now we are encountering a negative value. So what we can do is, we know that till now the longest possible subsequence is ending at a positive value, has a length of 2. If we encounter a negative value, we can say that now the longest possible subsequence would either be 1 or be 3. because we already have 2, so this is the 2 length here, and this is minus 12. So it can either be 1 or it can be 3. So we'll change it to 3 now. Okay, so this has been done. Now we'll move our iterator to here, through here, and we found a positive value. So we have a subsequence like this: negative, positive, negative, a length of 3. Now we have found a positive value. So we can now say that subsequence ending at a positive difference will now has a length of 4, right? Will now have a length of 4. So this has been done. Now we encounter another positive value. Okay, we encounter another positive value. Still our negative difference subsequence is of length 3. So if we like put a positive value here, again this would be 4 only. Okay. So again for 2 also this will not change, length of this array will not change. More formally, these 2 elements are fixed. We can take either one of these 3 elements, okay, of our part of wiggle subsequence. Now we encounter a negative value. So we know that subsequence, the longest possible subsequence ending at a positive value is of length 4, and we have encountered a negative value. So our longest possible subsequence ending at a negative difference will now become 5. 4 plus 1, 5. Okay. Now we are encountering another negative value. So this will still remain 5 only. We will not change it because it will be 5 or 4 plus 1, 5. Both of them are same. So no update there. And now we encounter a positive value. So we know that this length is 5. That has been already been saved. We encounter a positive value. So what we can do is so we can just increase this length by 1. So we can say that this will be 5 plus 1, 6. Alright, 5 plus 1, 6, because 5 is the length of longest possible subsequence ending at a negative value. Then we encounter another positive value. So this is longest possible subsequence ending at a positive value, and this will become 6. Okay, so this has been done. Again we encounter a negative value. So this is going to become 7, and at the end we have like iterated through our array. We are going to return maximum of these 2 values. We are going to return maximum of these 2 values. So if we look at example number 2, our output is also 7. Okay, so this is the thing. Again we can do one more thing. Instead of subtracting, we can directly look that whether the number is greater or not, or we can say that, let's say our array name was a, initially our array name was a. So we can also do something like this: is if a of I is greater than a of I minus 1, then we will get a positive value, and if a of I is lesser than a of I, a of I plus, this is plus 1, this is plus 1, then we'll get a positive value. So now to code it, so to code it, what we are going to do is we are going to first say int n equals to a dot size. We are going to change the name of this vector to a. After this, we are going to make these 2 variables which are going to store like the differences, the maximum possible length of the subsequences. So this is like sequence ending at greater value. Okay, so greater value. So this is going to be, length of this is 1. So more formally we can say that greater length, just to like keep the name short. And this is also an integer, and again lesser length is also 1. So largest length of sequence which is like ending at a greater value, and largest length of sequence which is ending at a lesser value. Now we can learn a for loop from int I equals to 0, I should be less than n minus 1 and plus I. So if we can look that if a of I is equals to a of I plus 1, then continue, because we don't want because if this is the case, then the difference is going to be 0, and we don't want that to be part of our answer. Okay, now we can look that if a of I is greater than a of I plus 1, then we can say that greater length is equals to lesser length plus 1. Okay, else lesser length is equals to greater length plus 1, and at the end we are going to return maximum of greater length comma lesser length. Okay, if we try to run this, this is going to give us our answer, I guess. So we have done a mistake, else greater length, G R G R E A T E R G R E A T E R. All right, so let's run it again. Yeah, so this has been accepted. So if we just try to submit it, you can see that we are doing it in 0 millisecond with a 100% score. Thing is that in this question our constraints was length was only 10 to the power 3. So we are doing this in big O of 10 to the power 3. Our time complexity is big O of 10 to the power 3. So this is like very less time complexity, that's why we are getting 0 ms. I have also done another solution. In this, what I did was I initially stored all of the differences in an array, in an A array, and then I was looking at those differences at the whether the value is positive or not. Okay, but in this I was using another loop, one extra loop. That's why I was getting like the difference was I was getting 8 millisecond, and here I am only getting 0 millisecond. Okay, so this is it. I hope you have understood the solution, and if you have any doubts, feel free to ask it in the comments. Okay, so thank you.